That sounds like that's where Striver comes in, because you have this essentially like a database of all these different companies, brands, events, whatever. Talk to me a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah, so I noticed just as the group continued to grow, more and more people were asking in the group, they'd say things like, I'm trying to search on Google, but I'm having no luck. But I'm just trying to find sustainable brands to support or sustainable initiatives. But I don't know who to trust or where to start. And so I saw a lot of those questions, and then I also saw a lot of people trying to promote their brand in our group. And the thing is with that is, once you allow with promotion in groups, it gets out of hand very quickly, because it becomes what everybody wants to do, and it becomes like surveys and a bunch of petitions.
Everybody wants to take instead of give.
Right. And so when I, kind of put regulation on that, as the group started to grow, we had actually had more engagement from the group, just because people were there for conversation and discussion, not just advertising. But it's also a great space to advertise with, to balance it out with, pepper it in there, and you get great engagement on that as well. But if you do, if you flood it, then you're ruining it for everybody. So that's kind of the idea of Striver. Was we figured out a strategy to utilize this, and also to create a platform that would build itself as its own independent resource over time, to be a very organized and efficient all-in-one resource where people can discover sustainable brands and campaigns anywhere in the world. And it starts with the group, because at the same time I realized, here's another hypothetical. I could freely just allow the group to just post whatever they want in the group all the time and leave it alone. And people have suggested that I do that. And I remember, for a very short amount of time, we tried that and it was not going well. So, but what I noticed was, let's say everybody did that, but then people are going to be searching, and it's still going to be difficult to sort through it all, to find what you're actually looking for. So there needs to be a directory that organizes things more efficiently. And so I figured this would be kind of that space where it would capture and collect all that information, and then organize it and then feature it into the group from there.
Yeah, I think that was a great idea, because I think one of the reasons why a lot of these Facebook groups have, no traction, and maybe they do have a lot of members, but nobody's talking, like there's just a bunch of posts, no engagement on the posts, is because it's just people advertising their own stuff. And, nobody wants to go to a Facebook group to see just a bunch of advertisements and people pushing their own thing. So I think that's fantastic that you just curated all of them into this one location. And by doing so, you can kind of weed out some of the ones that you don't necessarily want, right? Like, I'm sure there'd be people who come to you or post in the group that you don't necessarily want to advertise that.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of people who, and there being a small fee into it also is for a lot of good reasons. Allows us to, one, basically maintain the website and build the platform itself, but also to be its own regulatory means of, sifting through people who are serious about engaging with our group versus people who are just there to dump and go, and there's a lot of people who just want to, dump their spam into groups and then ignore it and never even participate in the group. And so we're kind of eliminating those kinds of people. And so with when we're narrowing it down to people who really are here for our group, we're just, ensuring 100% engagement from all of our members.